Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Yorkshire Gamer, and we're here with our monthly Wargames update, and it is April 2023, and it's only just April 2023. We are on the 30th and final day of the month. It's just been a bit busy with other things going on, trips to foreign parts, etc., that have been taking up my time, and I haven't been able to get one of these done. It's a slowish month in terms of new figures and whatever, because I'm on my annual painting slump following the Analogue Hobbies Winter Paint Challenge. But more of that in a minute. Let's have a look what I did manage to produce this month. So the first unit isn't the work in progress from last month, you'll notice. More on that in a little bit of time. But the first thing that I got painted, well, the only thing I got painted on the land this month are these guys. And this is a little section of 12 Papal Zouaves painted up for the Mentana project. And this is the last of the Papal forces for Mentana. So I'll be doing a little troops on parade fairly soon with the entire Papal force for that battle. These figures are just straight 28mm ACW Perry skirmishing Zouaves with Kepi. They don't, as I said before when I did the Papal Zouaves, they don't do Kepi hats in the plastic Zouave box set for some reason. So I had to go to Steve Barber models to get head swaps. But with these, they do a metal figure that is perfect. So I have just painted these as Papal Zouaves. It's probably the same uniform as a Confederate Zouave regiment in the ACW as well, but there we go. So 12 figures on skirmish bases, 60 by 30, and these are just to flesh out the numbers in my Papal army, and you'll see that very, very soon. So that's the Papal forces done. That's everything I've done on land this month. So it's down to the deep end of the table, and let's get our feet wet. Here we are down the wet end of the table, and I've managed to do another ship this month. This is a German destroyer, one of the earlier German destroyers, the 1934 class. And this, if we have a look underneath, is number Z9, Wolfgang Zenker. And it's from the Z7 kit by Trumpeter. And by now you probably know I quite like the Trumpeter models. They've got a lot more detail, a little bit of photo etch that just brings out a few details on the model itself without being ridiculously over the top that, you know, you're losing the will to live after 10 minutes of painting it. So as usual, I should just do a little twirl as I talk. By the way, this looks pretty good. Getting quite, well, more than happy with what I'm doing with that, and the AK Interactive Seafoam look really, really nice. There's no crew on this one. Previous viewers will have seen the ones I've done with crew on deck in the past, and I'm just kind of leaving that for a little while just to see how it works long term with that amount of crew on the deck and whether they start pinging off, etc. Especially when I start using them in games. Unfortunately, work's meant I've not been able to get any gaming in recently. But there we go. I think you know, if you're watching this channel on a regular basis, you'll be quite familiar with these ships by now. And this is for the Narvik project. I did 10 German destroyers for that. And I think I've got 2 that are relevant. The other German destroyers I've got are a bit later on in terms of period. So, unfortunately, that's all I've got painted this month. But that's not unusual for me in April. The winter Analogue Hobbies Winter Paint Challenge always finishes 21st March-ish, so I tend to really rush to get something finished for that, which was the Spanish Colunella, and that takes the sale out of your painting wind mojos a little bit. Hopefully I'll pick up again in May. I've got lots of things planned, so let's go and have a look at work in progress. So here is the work in progress, which looks amazingly like the work in progress from last month. and this ship is turning into a long old haul. It's not straightforward to do, and we'll talk a little about why in a minute. But at this stage, normally with a ship paint, I will be extremely close to finishing. It's merely a job of weathering each of the parts individually as I build the model, putting them all together, varnishing it, and then finishing off the sea. Well, the painting of this particular one is not particularly straightforward, so it's taken a little bit of time, a little bit longer than it normally would, but I'll just show you a little bit more about what I've done with the ship since we last spoke. So when we last looked, I was painting the side of the ship, and it had a bit of masking tape on, and if you look here at the rear, all this was done with masking tape. The dark end of the stern and the bow wave or wake, and so the stern wake and the bow wake, false bow wake. And then with this particular ship, with the Bismarck, the Baltic striping came as a decal. So all I had to do was literally stick it on in the right place, and we were done. With this, unfortunately, there isn't any decals, so I've had to use masking tape to get the Baltic stripes on the ship, which took quite a bit of time and was quite difficult, but we got there in the end, and this is the finished result, which is very nice. And then I've weathered the side of the ship as I would normally do with any ship, and just to prove I'm not cutting corners, I've done the other side as well. So there we go, and then I have painted the deck, and I've managed to source some stickers with German symbols on from Germany, would you believe? And they've worked out quite well, I think. I'm very happy with those. The only issue potentially with them is that the white was pure white on the decal, but there's quite a bit of brown showing through. It looks okay on here actually. So I'm not sure whether I'm going to do a little bit of painting on those just to bring the white out or to flatten it out a bit. So everything else on that deck area is done, and I'm just waiting now. Just zoom out so you can see the whole thing. I'm just waiting now to start building the ship up, and the difficulty with this is going to be continuing the Baltic stripes up the ship as I continue the build. So the next part to go on will be this one, the deck, the top deck, which just literally just fits on like so, but I need to carry on this striping up there and then up to the next level and up to the next level and up to the next level. And I think there's a bit of procrastination going on my part before I get that done. But there we are. That's Prince Eugen, and you never know, it might still be to work in progress next month. There's other things going on in the background, but I haven't started painting a new unit. There's lots of stuff being built and primed and stuff at the moment because everything I had built and primed has been painted for the Analogue Hobbies Winter Paint Challenge. So, I'll watch. Let's have a look. So let's have a look what we've spent, and the month started off quite slowly, and I thought I would have very little, if nothing, to put in this section, but then things went a bit crazy, like they always do. Anyway, you know what I mean. So first up is this little bad boy, this little gadget, and this is what is known as a photo etch bending tool, and I got a little one. You can get bigger ones. They're quite expensive actually, but there we go. And this is allegedly going to help me bend in photo etch, which is a big pain in the backside, I have to say. But I can see the benefit of having one of these, and I haven't used it yet because I'm just happen to be going through some models that haven't got any photo etch in. But later on, when I go back to do some IBG British models, this is going to prove absolutely essential. So I'm looking forward to using this. So that's just a little bit of a toolkit thing that I picked up. Now, when it comes to buying paint, you've got Duncan 2 Thin Coats Rhodes and Ken 1 Fat Slap Riley. And when you're fanning around with thinned out paint, then you need to get little fiddly bits. Well, I ain't mucking about. This is, and I can't even fit them in. There we go. If you didn't, for scale, I haven't got any Vallejo down here, but this is an old Coat d'Arms paint, and it's about the same size as a Vallejo. There you go. So this is what you normally buy, and this is what I buy for basing. These are my two primary base colours from Miniatures Paints, and 82 Earth Brown, which does all my land stuff apart from anything that is desert based, where I used Life Colour paint for that, which is a sand colour, and good old 24 Navy Blue, which is the base for all of my navy stuff. These are half-litre bottles. Probably paid about 20 quid, just under 20 quid for each of them. And the last time I bought these, I've never had one of the Navy Blue before. I had bought one of these about 12 years ago. So just, you know, the amount of stuff that I paint and base, that lasted me 12 years. So well worth it. I had to order these specially, but they're here now, and great job. Looking forward to spending the next 12 years basing stuff using those. As I move forward with terrain, which has never been my favourite thing, I have to say, and building the terrain for the Mentana project, I've been watching the Geek Villain Scenics, who featured on my channel Shoutout a couple of weeks ago, and watching the guy on there building stuff, and he did a video comparing the various different types of static grass applicators, which I've never had. So we've got one of these bad boys now from WW Scenics. Not tried it yet, but I certainly hope to over the next few days. I've just been so busy at work, I've just had no chance to do anything whatsoever. There's a couple of projects later in the year I just haven't even been able to look at. So I got this, picked it up, looking forward to using it. I got some of the static grass layering spray while I was on the website. It doesn't come with any batteries. I thought legally, if you had something that had batteries, you have to supply batteries with it, but there wasn't any. So I bought some batteries, and then they sent me, well, not sent me, I bought this little kit. This whole box is full of, oops, that didn't go down very well, did it? Of static grass to help you get going. So there's some 6mm wild meadow and some more on the floor. So that's going to hopefully get me going. 4mm patchy. So what I'm going to do with this to start with, I'm going to refurb the hills that I use in the games room here. I've already part refurbed one and it looks the business, so I was thinking about making some new ones, but I don't think I need to now. So hopefully in next month I'll show you what I've done with that, just refurbing some hills. So a little bit of investment in terrain, and I honestly thought that was the end of the month's purchases, but I was wrong. So I managed to get myself down on the train to Salute 50. I haven't been since it was in the old Olympia, so that must be 20 years ago maybe. And I have to say I had an absolutely fantastic day, chatting to loads of people I've not met before that I know from online. Fraser VK, first time I've met him. I met up with Dom from PCP, who I've met a few times, but he was down there. Dave Brown, I managed to have a chat with him for the first time. Bumped into Simon Miller. He was very stressed with his big game, bless him, so I left him to it. But so many people came up to say, love the stuff that you do, love the podcast or whatever, and had a great time. Really enjoyed it. The day just flew by, and I had an amazing day out. Expensive day out, but amazing day out. But I managed to get a really cheap train fare, so that cut it all in half. So, purchases wise, I've been waiting for these for ages, as you know, and I've already done an unboxing video separate to this, so I'm not going to dwell too long on these. Picked up, they had a deal on the day, 3 boxes and a command figure for £66, and I literally scooped them off the Perry's web store and straight into a bag. So I bought a firing line and 2 advancing, and as I say, you can see the unboxing in another one of the videos. And I'll just bring this guy up here. This is the command figure that came with the extra boxes, typically lovely Perry stuff, and that's ideal for me. I do want a couple of French command bases to go for Mentana, and it all depends on how quickly Perry's get other metal stuff to go out with this range, whether I can use those. But I'll paint the infantry first, do the command bases last, see what is available. So that was my first purchase from Perry Miniatures. Straight, as soon as I got in the door, leg to the Perrys, bought these. Then to save on a bit of postage, I'd pre-ordered this lot. This is the last order for the 28mm Garibaldi from Gringo 40s. And it was lovely to actually meet up with Jed Cronin, the guy who owns Gringo 40s. We'd spoken before on the phone, but it was lovely to have a chat up close and personal. You've seen these... Apologies, had a cough there. I've seen these figures plenty of times before, and you know they are the absolute business. Very, very nice, these Gringo 40 Garibaldi troops, really well, nicely made. And I just asked Jed to put together 24, well, 2 lots of 24, so there's 48 figures here of just random mix for me to put together a couple of Garibaldi units. So you'll see those very soon, and as I now start to put the foot down with the Garibaldi project and try and get those done as quickly as I can. Maybe try and get the Mentana game ready for October. I think I've got just under 6 months. Another thing I picked up at Salute from Simon Miller were these for King and Parliament, and this is a prize. I won the Challenger's Choice, which is voted for by the general public for the best entries into this year's Analogue Hobbies Winter Paint Challenge, and that was for my World War II naval, which was very, very nice. And the prize was this set of rules from Simon, as well as this fictitious campaign book. And I've never played any of Simon's rules. I've not used a grid system. I'm got to admit I'm sceptical about it, but I've got a set of the rules now, so I can have a read through it and potentially try something out at the club. A few people play Simon's rules at the club, so it'll be a good chance to have a go at it. And then even if I don't take it on board, this is really good for a campaign in any set of rules. I would suggest having had a flick through them. And it's by a chap called Robert Avery. If you're out there, Robert, I hope you're all right, mate. And I have used his stuff for my World War II desert campaign in the past, and he writes really good comprehensive scenario books. If you see anything with Robert Avery's name on it, buy it. You know it's going to be the business. So that's everything new that's coming to the office this month, and I haven't done any gaming, I'm afraid. I've been to Salute, so I'll show you some pictures of Salute later on. But let's have a look at the scores on doors. Time once again for the scores on the doors, and a little fun look at who's following what, where and when. And once again, as I always do at this point, I'd just like to thank everyone who follows Yarkshire Gamer on all of the various platforms that I do stuff on. And thanks very much for interacting and joining in. And it's an amazing community, and I'd like to thank all of you and all the people who came up to me at Salute and had a chat. That was absolutely lovely. I'll be at Partisan again. I wear a bright blue Yorkshire Gamer t-shirt, so please come and have a chat. I'd love to chat with you about you and your gaming. So, Facebook, we're up 42, 1884. Twitter's a bit of a slow month, up 16, 2747. But I think a few people are leaving Twitter. I don't know why. Our little corner, the Wargaming corner of Twitter, is brilliant. Forget what's going on everywhere else. It is a great place to be for Wargamers. Instagram up 20, ticking along steadily away. YouTube's up 41, 1878. Nowhere near my mate Alex and his 9,000, 10,000, 50 million, whatever he's up to. I can't keep count, but I'm nearly at 2,000. So if you don't, give us a follow, so I can catch up to Alex in 60 years' time. Podcast up 4 again. If you don't, give us a follow on Podbean. I'd really like that number to go up. It's daft because you know people follow you on Google and on Apple Podcasts, and it doesn't all get counted in the same pot. But there we go. Facebook group up 1365, up 103, which is fantastic. Really nice everyone joining in on the Facebook group, posting their stuff. There is 3 questions at the start, and if you're rude to me in the questions, then I'm probably not going to let you in. Just a bit of a clue there to somebody who tried to get in last week. Yeah, 1365, growing nicely. If you're not on the Facebook group, please come and join. Post your stuff, getting some great pictures of some really big battles throughout the world, and it's absolutely fantastic to see. That's not just all about my stuff, the Facebook group. I'm really encourage people to post their own stuff in there, so we get a mix of stuff on the for you to view and to look at and to comment on. Podcast downloads 74, 185. Up nearly 6,000 people listened last month, which is pretty amazing. There's a new podcast hopefully out tomorrow, and I'm keeping the guest under wraps until it comes out, but it's a good one. And lots of people I've noticed going back and checking out some of the older episodes, which is great. I know the episode with Martin Kelly and Steve Shan, really, really high numbers on that, and I think it's a bit of a thing from that. People are going back and checking out old episodes, which is absolutely fantastic. Once again, thank you for listening to Yorkshire Gamer in all my various formats. So that just leaves me to I'm going to talk a little bit about Salute and do my normal channel shout out. So first up, as usual, is the channel shout out, and today this is going to be for Dougie's Wargaming blog show, and I bumped into Dougie at Salute. He's had a blog for a long time, and he's set up a YouTube channel. He's 700 odd followers, so let's get him up to 1,000. Covers lots of stuff, after action battle, lots of modern 20mm stuff, and lots of discussion on there, so get along and sign up for that channel. While I was at Salute, I looked at many fantastic games. Probably the best, and for me, was Simon Miller's absolutely fantastic Ipsos Ancient game. It was about 6 meters long, apparently, and thousands of figures. Lots of interest drawn to it during the day. This is the sort of gaming that I like, and the sort of gaming that inspires me. So well done, Simon. It was a great show, mate. Another one that really picked my attention was the Peterborough Wargames Society, and they did a Dam Buster raid. Not many figures, just the one Lancaster, but it was really innovative, and the people who were playing it were sat at the end of the table with flight gear and stuff like that, so it was really well done. Great work, lads. Not this one, Hugo's Heroes, Oraveus 1808, and they had a wonderful little 6mm version of the game along with the main version they were playing, so that was a great innovation. Enjoyed that one. Firelock Games had a huge Blood and Plunder game, a bit of pirates. Who doesn't like a bit of pirates in their gaming? And that looked spectacular. That was a really good show. One thing I always go on about is people not doing enough to raise the height of interest of their games, and this wonderful one from the University of Wolverhampton, ACW, Naval really did the business. You could see it from miles away. Enjoyed that one. And then the good old friends of General Haig, I managed to speak to Andy at the convention, which was great. We'd not met in person before. And they had a few games on, and this one, the Battle of Fallujah, early 90s, looked great. And another one for 1627, the Battle of Dachau, and it had Polish wing lancers in, and we all know how much we love those. So ethically sourced teddy bear fur as well. So that just leaves me to say thank you very much for watching once again. It's been a steady away month, lots of purchases, not a lot of painting done, and let's hope the painting mojo reignites for next month and I finally get Prince Eugen finished, and maybe even get some gaming in as well. I've let that slip again recently. It was a lovely trip down to Slough. As I've said, lots of people met. It was a really, really nice day out. And I'm looking forward to parties on the back of that. So keep your eyes peeled for new stuff coming out, podcasts, etc. And I'll see you all again next month. Until then, Sithee.